The night of the Forbidden Masquerade. The night of the Forbidden Masquerade had finally come. Across Umuaka village, the sound of heavy masquerade drums rolled through the hills like thunder. The deep rhythm echoed through the dark forest and spread into every corner of the village. The villagers knew what it meant. Women quickly gathered their children and hurried inside their huts. Doors were shut tightly. Windows were closed. No woman dared remain outside once the drums of the Forbidden Masquerade began to speak. Within a short time, the entire village became silent. All the huts were closed. No footsteps. No voices. Only the powerful drums and distant chants from the sacred masquerade ground filled the night air. Inside the palace, everyone was deeply asleep. Princess Adaeze had secretly added a sleeping substance to the evening meal, and its effect was strong. The king slept heavily in his royal chamber. The prince lay still in his room. Even the palace guards at the gate leaned against their spears, fast asleep. The palace that was usually full of movement had become completely quiet. Only two people were awake: Princess Adaeze and Chioma. From far away, the sound of the masquerade drums grew louder and louder. At the sacred masquerade ground, the Forbidden Masquerade troupe had already begun their ritual dance. The dancers moved in circles around the sacred arena, stamping their feet heavily on the earth. Rattles shook loudly in their hands as they jumped and spun around the fire torches. In the middle of the circle stood the almighty Forbidden Masquerade. He was taller than the others, his body covered in powerful charms and layers of sacred cloth. The firelight flickered against his towering figure. Slowly, he raised his staff into the air. Then he began to chant ancient incantations. His deep voice echoed across the arena as the dancers shouted and moved wildly around him. The torches burned brighter. The ritual had begun. Back at the palace, Princess Adaeze slowly stood up. She looked around the silent hallway and smiled proudly. Then she whispered to herself, "I shall be the first woman to see the Forbidden Masquerade. The tradition they have hidden from women for years will end tonight." She lifted her head proudly. "Nothing will happen to me," she continued quietly. "I am the princess of this land, and the most beautiful woman in Umuaka." She laughed softly. Chioma watched her with worry in her eyes. "My princess," Chioma said carefully, "are you sure you want to embark on this journey?" Princess Adaeze lifted her chin confidently. "Yes," she replied firmly. "I am leaving now. I shall return before daybreak." Without another word, she quietly slipped out through the palace gates. Outside, the night air felt cold and heavy. The village paths were empty. There were no voices. No footsteps. No movement anywhere. Only the powerful sound of the masquerade drums guided her through the darkness. Princess Adaeze walked carefully along the silent village paths. She passed closed huts, dark compounds, tall silent trees. The drums grew louder with every step she took. Soon, she reached the sacred masquerade ground. The dancers were moving wildly around the ritual circle. The sound of rattles, drums, and chants filled the night. But suddenly, the Forbidden Masquerade stopped chanting. Everything froze. Slowly, the great masquerade turned his head. Then his thunderous voice roared across the arena. "A woman has seen me tonight." The dancers stopped instantly. The entire arena became silent. Then the Forbidden Masquerade spoke again. "Today marks her end." Princess Adaeze's heart began to pound violently in her chest. Fear rushed through her body. She quickly turned and tried to run. But the masquerade guards moved swiftly. Within seconds, they surrounded her. Her legs suddenly felt heavy. She could not move. It was as if invisible chains had held her in place. Fear gripped her chest tightly. Princess Adaeze screamed. Her cry echoed across the quiet village. Inside their huts, some villagers whispered in fear. "A woman has defied the tradition," one villager murmured. "May the gods have mercy," another whispered. But no one stepped outside. No one dared help her. Princess Adaeze tried to speak. She tried to explain herself. But no words came out of her mouth. Her voice refused to obey her. Back at the palace, the king suddenly woke up from his deep sleep. To be continued.